Dr. Eris Thorne, a name once whispered with reverence in the hallowed halls of CERN, was now just a fading echo in a universe that had forgotten humanity. His life's work, the Chronos Project, a daring attempt to manipulate the fabric of time itself, had succeeded, but with catastrophic consequences. He hadn't just opened a door, he'd blasted through a wall, ripping a hole into a reality where humanity was not the dominant species, but a ghost in the galactic machine. He materialized in a swirling vortex of emerald and crimson energy, the remnants of his temporal jump violently expelling him onto a metallic surface. Around him stretched a vast, cavernous space illuminated by pulsating, bioluminescent fungi clinging to the walls. Gigantic structures of polished obsidian and shimmering chrome soared towards the unseen ceiling, connected by intricate networks of energy conduits that hummed with latent power. Before he could fully grasp his surroundings, a guttural voice shattered the silence. "Intruder detected! Sector Gamma 9 under lockdown!" The voice, deep and resonant, echoed through the cavern Eris whirled around, his heart pounding against his ribs. Tall and slender, with iridescent, chitinous exoskeletons, they moved with a fluid grace that belied their imposing size. Their multifaceted eyes glowed with an unsettling intelligence, and from their forearms extended bioengineered weapons that hummed with contained energy. He tried to speak, to explain, but the words caught in his throat. Before he could utter a sound, one of the beings raised its weapon. A beam of pure energy lanced towards him, and Eris instinctively threw himself to the ground. He was caught in the crossfire of a war he didn't understand, a war between the Krill, the chitinous beings who had initially detected him, and the Sylvans, beings of pure energy encased in crystalline shells. They were locked in a bitter struggle for control of Xylos, a planet rich in a rare element called Etherium, the key to powering their advanced technologies. Humans were only spoken of in whispers, a distant memory of a species that once held a similar position of power but had long since collapsed. The Sylvan communicated through a series of melodic tones that Eris's temporal device, miraculously still functional, translated into basic English. "Human. You are an anomaly. The Krill seek to dissect you. To unlock the secrets of your origin, I will offer you sanctuary." He didn't trust either faction, but the Sylvan's offer was his only chance. He allowed himself to be guided through the labyrinthine corridors of the Sylvan stronghold, a place of shimmering light and echoing harmonies. He met Lyra, a Sylvan elder, whose crystalline form pulsed with ancient wisdom. Eris scoffed. He was a scientist, not a savior. He wanted to go home, to undo the damage he had caused. But Lyra insisted that his arrival was no accident, that his presence was intertwined with the fate of Xylos. She believed he possessed the knowledge to unlock the power of the Etherium, a power that could either save or destroy them all. The Krill, led by the ruthless General Vorlag, were relentless. They launched wave after wave of attacks on the Sylvan stronghold, their bioengineered weapons tearing through the crystalline defenses. He even managed to create a rudimentary communication device that allowed him to understand the Krill's tactical maneuvers. He formed a bond with Kaya, a young Sylvan warrior, whose youthful idealism and unwavering belief in him inspired him. She saw him not as a weapon, but as a scientist, a seeker of knowledge, a potential ally. She taught him about the Sylvan culture, their reverence for nature, and their deep connection to the Etherium. As Eris delved deeper into the mysteries of Xylos, he discovered a hidden truth. The Umbra were beings of pure shadow, entities that existed outside the realm of light and energy. They fed on the chaos and destruction caused by the war, growing stronger with each passing day. They had seeded the conflict, manipulating both the Krill and the Sylvans, pushing them towards mutual annihilation. The revelation shook Eris to his core. He realized that he had stumbled into a far more complex and dangerous situation than he had initially imagined. He needed to expose the Umbra, to reveal their machinations to the Krill and the Sylvans, to unite them against a common enemy. Eris knew he needed proof, irrefutable evidence of the Umbra's involvement. He and Kaya embarked on a perilous journey to the heart of the Ethereum mines, a place rumored to be haunted by the Umbra's presence. They navigated treacherous tunnels, battling Krill patrols, and evading Umbra shadows that lurked in the darkness. Aris used his scientific knowledge to decipher ancient Sylvan texts, uncovering the secrets of the Ethereum's power and the Umbra's weakness. He discovered that the Ethereum was not just a source of energy. It was a conduit to other dimensions, a gateway to the realm of the Umbra. Using a device he had constructed from salvaged technology, Aris amplified the Ethereum's energy, creating a surge of light that banished the Umbra shadows, revealing their true form, grotesque parasitic entities that thrived on darkness. He broadcast the images to both the Krill and the Sylvan command centers, exposing the Umbra's deception. The revelation sent shockwaves through both factions. For the first time in centuries, the Krill and the Sylvan saw each other not as enemies, but as victims. He contacted Lyra, proposing a truce. A tense alliance was formed, uniting the Krill and the Sylvan forces against the Umbra. Aris, Kaya, Vorlag, and Lyra led the combined forces on a final assault on the Umbra stronghold, a fortress of shadows hidden deep within the Ethereum mines. The battle was fierce and brutal, the Krill's bioengineered weapons clashing against the Sylvan's energy shields, while Aris used his scientific knowledge to disrupt the Umbra's defenses. In the end, it was Aris who delivered the final blow. The Umbra stronghold collapsed, plunging into the abyss, taking the last vestiges of their influence with it. With the Umbra defeated, a new era dawned on Xylos. The Krill and the Sylvans, no longer manipulated by external forces, began to rebuild their civilizations, working together to harness the power of the Ethereum for the benefit of all. Eris, the Starborn, had fulfilled his prophecy. But his mission was not yet complete. He still yearned to return home, to undo the damage he had caused, to restore humanity to its rightful place in the universe. Standing before the swirling vortex of temporal energy, Eris bid farewell to Kaya, Vorlag, and Lyra. He promised to never forget them, to carry the lessons of Xylos with him. He stepped into the vortex, and with a flash of emerald and crimson light, he was gone. Oate. He materialized back in his lab at CERN, the Kronos project humming around him. He looked at the data on his screens, at the equations that had led him down this path. He knew what he had to do. He deactivated the Kronos project, dismantling the machine that had threatened to unravel the fabric of reality. He carried the weight of his experience with him, a secret he would never reveal. The universe he had seen, the beings he had met, the war he had fought. It would forever be etched in his memory. He had saved Xylos, but he had also saved himself. He had learned that true strength lies not in manipulating time or controlling energy, but in unity, compassion, and the unwavering pursuit of knowledge. Years later, Eris stood at the foot of the Swiss Alps, a serene smile gracing his lips. He looked up at the stars, knowing that somewhere out there, on a planet called Xylos, a new civilization was flourishing, a testament to the power of unity and the enduring spirit of hope.